Peace, Lakeisha. Yeah, see, it's at 0. Let's see what happened. Lakeisha was in it. Yeah, man. We'll talk about things. They're gonna come in a minute. It's late though. I don't normally do late lives.
So right now it's just me and you.
Yeah, Lakeisha was in there, but that's because I had it set for 10:30. But we didn't start at 10:30. Now we got more people in there. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Do a number one. Hey, peace, Baba Curry. Peace. I see someone else up there too. Okay, I see more. All right, cool. Yeah, here we come. They coming in now. They coming in. Your first live, man. You know? Yeah. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
We're gonna share.
I told you this is gonna be hard
All right.
because you know how we are.
Yeah, but we're not gonna do that. All right. So normally, who's that? Maroon Beauty 21. Peace. I don't think I've seen you for a while. Peace, brother Anwar.
Peace.
Peace, peace. Um. So, uh, yeah, little different rhythm this evening. Oh yeah, if you can hear me, hit the number one. Respect to my guest.
Peace to you.
He's
Peace to
calling you a
Peace.
guest.
Peace. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I'm not gonna say anything funny. Yeah, so normally when I do videos and whatnot, or like, one of the things a lot of you, oh, hit the number one if you can hear me. I asked for you to hit the number one. I asked y'all a while ago. You know how y'all do, man. Just hit the number one if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, well, then you won't hit anything.
I don't know how
Oh,
this works.
so you heard me because you said it's been a while. Yeah, okay, so you did hear me. Um, so most of the time when I do videos and whatnot, I make it a point to kind of, you know, um, I'm usually by myself, but as it pertains to like my family, a lot of you know I keep that very, and still no one put a one in the chat room to let me know you can hear me. Yeah, I know that delay can't be that low. So if you can hear me, put a number one in the chat, please. I think you can because I said something to Maroon Beauty earlier and she seemed to have responded. But please let me make sure you can hear me and
Excuse me.
I'm not just here lip syncing. They still ain't put a number one in the chat room.
It's like
Nah, I ain't got nothing to do with being late. They're selfish.
no.
That's what it is. All right, if you can hear me, put a number one in the chat, please. And then watch, then it's gonna get bombarded with ones. I don't think maybe they can't. There we go. Greetings, Chief. Number one. Peace, brother Kevin.
Peace. Peace.
There is a delay on that, Chief. Okay, now here they can. Minister Bliss. Hey, peace, Minister Bliss. Okay, here we go. All right. And more of you. All right. So now we get all of our number ones. So I just like to make sure so I'm not rambling. I'm buffering a little bit. I wonder what sim I'm on. I got a couple of sims in my phone. I might be on my slow sim. Um, it's too late now because if I change the sim, it's gonna cut the live. But still yawning. Huh? Yeah. So usually I don't show my family on the videos and things I do, but um, this is my brother here, and
Peace to you.
we're working on a project that I've been talking about for a while, and I decided, yeah, I think it's just a slow sim. Which one am I using? I don't know, but it is what it is. But yeah, we're working on this project. I'm doing some work. I just came back from doing some spiritual work for somebody, and peace and care, and passing through. We're continuing to work on this project, and I said that we should kind of talk about it a little bit. Sometimes you got to put things out in the air, and this where the spirit is to kind of make it more solid. Even though you're putting it in the air, you're making it more solid. You know. So there's a project that we're working on that we're going to release soon, a music project. But it's not only a music project; it's also a book, and it's also a lecture series by the name of Noirmale. And the project itself is centering around some of the challenges and some of the ensnarements that we deal with as melanin rich men inside of a Western or paradigm, or what one might call the Anglosphere. And the Anglosphere is that sphere of influence that is basically dominated by Western thought and Western culture. And sometimes it's very difficult to function inside of that space when you have an Eastern perspective. You know, peace, Madam Ma'at. Um, yeah. So again, to reiterate, this is my. Oh, I didn't even introduce you, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
This is my brother James. Like I said, I usually don't have my family on, but that's usually the reason I don't show my family. One, because I am a very private person, but because I'm very protective as well. But he can handle himself.
Peace to you. Peace to you.
Yeah.
Peace to your family.
hmm So what was I say? So I was talking about Noir Mail and what we're doing with it, the project, and some of the intention behind it in terms of really highlighting really some of the struggles that we're going through or that we face as again melanin rich men inside of an environment where people usually have a very monolithic kind of perspective when it comes to processing information that we may bring or perspectives that we may bring. Sometimes even our manhood is translated through a lens that has very little to do with what we've committed ourselves to. So some of what we're talking about is that. So I'm gonna let my brother kind of.
No,
You want me to let you describe it, or you want me to just ask you questions?
you can ask me questions. Keep us so together.
All right. So, oh, you guys can ask questions too. I'm about to knock this stuff over. Um. Yeah. So, I knew you was gonna do that. All right. So here, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. He's never done a live before. This is his first time. He doesn't even have social media accounts. All right. So this is his first time doing a live. All right. He keeps rubbing his knee. He's nervous.
Like, I don't know what you're gonna ask me. I don't know.
Come on, I'm not gonna do that. I know you think I'm gonna like start cracking jokes. They don't know me like that. They don't know me as somebody always
Okay.
cracking jokes. They think I'm real serious.
Somebody asked, "What does the title mean?"
Yeah.
Simple. The title just means black man or black male. Um, and had a little twist to it. Talking about the psychological part of normalcy or just being normal. So I was playing kind of what I call that? This play of words with normal, being normal mentally, psychologically, and also the black man just being within the society, being something, being seen as being normal. Because I've suffered personally a lot of like psychological issues due to dealing with you know the stuff that we all as black men have to deal with here in the Western world. And what I wanted to portray with the project is that it's normal to be a black man. There's nothing wrong with it. And I know that like a lot of I've gone through like a lot of suffering here, and you know, again, I just wanted to kind of deal with the psychological portion of what we go through here in this Western world. I don't know what else to.
Nah, that's good, man. You doing good.
Okay.
You doing good. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it means. Noirmale. It's Noirmale, so it's actually spelled Noirmale. So it's a play on words in that sense, like normal, but Noirmale. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, you kind of went right into it. You know, I was keeping it light. So yeah, it is really, a lot of it is about the trauma that we go through. Like, um, let's give them an example. Like this,
The relationship between a man and a woman. That's
that
one.
part. Yeah, yeah.
And the pathology, the sicknesses that we suffer because of um, our women and our men at the same time um, having to assimilate to this culture, having to assimilate to, you know, the norms and values of this culture, and not really being able to identify who they are within themselves, you know, as black men and black women. I hope I made sense with that. Did I make sense?
They'll tell you if you didn't.
Oh,
Yo, they cool, man. They gonna say whatever they feel like saying because they know we can't put hands on them. You know.
So yeah, yeah. I just wanted to kind of cover that.
Said give thanks, bro. They thank you, dude.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I told you this
I
is
gotta
first
get used
live.
to this whole live thing. But blessings, peace and blessings to you. But yeah, we just wanted to put something together that comes from, you know, different compartments that we deal with as black men here in this what do we call this? The wilderness, you know. And so again, we're dealing with relationships between men and women, relationships between men and their children. We're dealing with the black man actually having to go in and work into corporations and things like that, and stuff that they've experienced in the working in the corporations. What song was that?
Which one?
Put together the rock sounding, the one I was talking about.
Not zombie.
Not zombie is the other one.
The rock joint.
Yeah, but that was basically
That was zombie. Was the rock joint.
working.
Not trauma.
Right, trauma. No. Trauma was the education system.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Education and the medical arena. I dealt with that in that song. But then there's the one song that I'm talking about.
I think that's the one I don't like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had a lot of. It had a lot of.
See, you know, when a lot of people talk about their music projects, they'll be like when you ask an artist, like, so what's your favorite product out of your catalog? They always tell you a song from the current project that they're working on. But I'm more honest. Like, there's been times I put out songs I don't like, but it's what people like. Yeah, rock joint, I don't like it.
But the rock joint dealt with the workforce here that we have to subscribe to. So
you know what it is? A lot of times, because we going right into it, like, you know, one of the ideas that we had, like, I'm gonna give them. We're not putting it on this project, but there's a song that we have called "Father Time." Somebody on there has heard a clip of it before, and one of the directions that I wanted to go into with the art recently was really looking at things that are relevant to certain groups of people, right? So, you know, we were working on something one time, and you know, I was just like, you get to a certain point in terms of your age and in terms of your development where you can't really maintain the same concepts anymore. You know, like, yeah, at this age, do we still live and we love? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, you're not going to be a heartthrob at this age, you know. I'm just saying. You feel like you can still pull it off?
Yeah, I think 40s. I think we can still do the same thing we did when we was in the 20s, you know. You don't think we could pull it off?
It's done, man.
Okay.
It's over, bro.
Oh.
It's over. You know what I mean?
A little gym, a little eating right.
I go to stores, man, and like the people behind the counter, "Hello, sir, can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we was younger and we used to go in the stores and like the girls would whisper, and you knew they wanted us.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time that happened?
They're just a little older now.
Even the older ones will be wanting us. They don't want us anymore. Like it's over, man. We had a good run. We had a good run.
Okay.
It's over, B. You know what I mean? So yeah. So you know when you get older, you gotta talk about different things like your children getting on your nerves.
Right.
You know, like sometimes you hate them. You know, like I tell my youth like I hate y'all up until about 12 o'clock. Elijah just came in and said hi. Oh, okay, all right, cool. I thought it said Elijah just came in hi. Cause I dealt with that the other night with my youth, and Billy came in lit up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like, and doing one of them like what? Doing one of them.
Oh wow. We need to have a talk.
Yeah, but he can get more than the talk. I'm tired of talking. But yeah, man. So what was I? So yeah, man. This son Malik just turned 21. Yeah, see, his son is grown, so it's different. You know, but yeah, peace. Yeah, yeah.
Was it his birthday? His born day?
21. Yeah, but yeah, man. Really looking at some of the things that we kind of dive into as we get older, because some of that stuff we don't talk about. Like we have the song "Father Time" that we did. Make them sleep outside, cheap. Oh yeah, we've done that, man. Baba Byron, man. You know, one thing about me and my youth say, like, I'm really diabolical with the punishments because I'm not real big on put. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll put my hands on them, but that's like standard, right? You know, because I don't consider me, you know, choking you out as the actual punishment. That's just like, you know, the prelude to the actual punishment. But yeah, I do some diabolical things, man. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, I mean, I've done some prolific beatings, you know. Yeah.
Spanking. Discipline.
Oh, that because we.
Yeah,
I don't even,
we watch our verbiage.
I ain't worried about it. You know what I mean? They can't prove nothing. We just talking. Mm-hmm. This is all for entertainment purposes. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to Noirmale. So yeah, well, it's really the same thing. So when you're really talking about relative situations that you go through and really trying to create a space, because, you know, the work that I do in terms of the therapy and the spiritual work and the counseling, I deal with a lot of loneliness and borderline insanity that men deal with that they can't really express. Because like I've said before, in this society, it's dangerous to express yourself as a man. It's dangerous to express your level of discontentment or your level of disgruntledness, because, you know, like if you go into your job as a man and go to your desk and start crying, they're gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
You know, like he gonna come in tomorrow and kill everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then plus when there's so many things that are happening, when you have, like, for instance, the leadership of this country, because we live in a lawless place. You know, we live in a place where anything can happen to you and there's really no recourse. So when you live in a place like that long enough as a man and you want to speak out against it, it becomes really a declaration. That's your stomach? Oh, that's a truck out there. I keep hearing this stuff. I thought it was your stomach growling, man.
You know I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know you said you was hungry. You be all right, man. But when you live in a place where like there's all this peace, I'm a Z. You know.
Oh, you're supposed to read this.
Yeah, it comes on the side, and I think we could respond if we click that. I think, but I never do it because I'll be afraid I'm gonna knock the phone over. Okay. But if we hit that, then we could go through like all the old ones too. Okay. I ain't gonna push it too much because you know I'm gonna knock the phone over. Okay. You know what I mean? But when it pop up,
what's good?
Yeah, then we can, you know. Then I just usually say something when they pop up. You know what I mean? You're gonna be doing elders. I mean, you're gonna be doing lives all the time now. It's easy.
Peace, grace, and peace.
So, but But yeah, there's a lot of men dealing with situations that they can't really verbalize because, again, sometimes we also come up as youth where we're always told to man up. You know, when we start feeling something and we want to cry, like literally cry, or really let it out and express it, you know, we live in environments where people are always like, you need to man up, you need to man up.
Right.
And then when we get older and, you know, we learn to kind of contain everything. You yawning again, huh?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I
I'm
forgot it's
listening.
9 o'clock, so he goes to bed early.
Like 5. Like old man time.
Yeah,
5,
but you've been
5
doing
p.m.
it since we was kids, man. You know, yeah. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so like when you get older and you learn to kind of hold everything inside, then you know, you're villainized for not being expressive.
Right.
You
At
know,
night, they don't want you when you don't express you don't when you don't express your emotions.
right? Exactly. Yeah, your emotion.
Your emotion.
Anwar just said. Then they always have a problem with you with your tone, the
Yeah.
bass, especially.
Indeed. Yeah.
If the thought was critical and articulate correctly. Yeah, you know what? I made that point to someone yesterday. Like let's say if like sometimes if you have the ability to articulate something beyond 4 or 5 sentences, people imagine that you have an emotional attachment to the situation. So let's say if
Mm-hmm.
someone's doing something and you say, you know, this is what you're doing, this is why you're doing it, this is what it's causing, this is how you repair it. You could be 5 or 6 sentences in and the person be like, oh, okay, all right, you know, and there may be 10 men in the room who feel the same exact way, but maybe they don't have the ability to articulate it beyond one sentence. They might just say, "You getting on my nerves," and that's it. And your intelligence kind of begins to be criminalized in that
You
sense.
become a threat. Yeah.
You become a threat, right? Because I can articulate. And as a man, usually you do have to take the hits. When something happens, you have to not only articulate what just happened, but oh yeah, there should be 22 likes now. Thank you, Amizi. You're right. You're right. For everybody that's in there, there should be as many likes. But you know, as a man, you have to not only take the hit, you then have to calm yourself down so you don't respond to whatever offense just came. You have to articulate what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You have to articulate the level of offense that it's at.
Right.
Then you have to articulate the solution. Meanwhile, while you might be going against someone who's being defensive, you know. And then as far as whatever healing, peace, brother Zach, peace. Yes, my
Thank you.
brother Zach. He said, "Welcome guests." Yeah,
Thank you.
they
Thank
all welcome you. They giving you a lot of love, man. They don't even
No.
be giving me love, like you know what I mean?
Thank you, family.
Yeah. But you know, you have to articulate all of those different things, and then you have to suppress whatever pain or hurt you might be feeling
You
because
gotta
of what
feel-
just happened.
Right. Your own trauma.
Right. But if you're able to articulate all of those different things, then someone will usually ascribe a feeling to it. Oh, I didn't know I made you so mad.
Right.
You know, like,
And then or they flip it on you like you the problem.
right. You know, so like those situations, they begin to drive a man insane, believe it or not. You know, because we always have to put up this stoic front like nothing bothers us. You know, it's off the floor. Like nothing bothers us, but the reality is there's so many situations that sometimes we want to articulate and we can't. And that's why we kind of really pushed forward with the idea of the project of Noirmale to really create some space and some opportunity for dialogue around these. There was actually some stuff said. I'm gonna try not to knock this over. We get in trouble when we stand our ground
Yes,
on
sir.
things.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then sometimes you, as males, sound angry to us, or I should say me.
That's it.
Right. And you know what it is? Maroon Beauty, she's like, sometimes we sound angry. It's because you're ascribing femininity to us.
Mm.
You know, so like when we're talking, for instance, I'm going to tell you something that's real insulting to a man. If we're explaining something to you and someone says, well, why do you feel that way? But we just gave you the truth. And you're turning the truth or our logic into emotion as if we're females. So it's actually an insult to our manhood. You know, or like when you say, oh, well, sometimes you sound angry because we live in a feminized society. So if I have bass in my voice, I sound angry. You know, if I'm walking a certain way, you'll say, man, you walking like you want to hurt somebody. You know, all of those different things. And I mean, many of us men have been a victim of that. You know, so we've gotten, and I mean, there's actually some men on here. There was this, I'm thinking about you as well, Baba Byron. I'm not going to say the situation, but I'm just going to say the time when you sat down and someone had an issue with the way you sat. You know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you later. But or if he feels like telling her, yeah. But yeah, you know, some of the basic things again, which are just tenets of our own manhood, have become criminalized. If there is a situation and we escalate the volume of our voice, not out of anger, but we can in a controlled way so that we can be heard, then an emotion will be ascribed to that. So now we become like wild dogs.
But what I gather, that tone is accepted in certain arenas. Like if you're a coach, that's the only place that you can express yourself fully as a man.
Or a cop.
Or a cop.
Right.
You got to be in some type of accepted position of authority, and with whatever group they or the whatever is set up as far as Western culture, you know, as long as it goes along with that paradigm, then you know it's acceptable. But like as far as the home, dealing with the home, there's a certain you can't speak up as a man in a home. You can't do it in schools anymore. You as a parent, you can't do it. These are some of the things that I'm noticing even at the jobs. You know, you can't speak up as a man, and if you do, they put you in a situation where they're either trying to get church. Same thing. You speak up as a man in church, you know, you're finished. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's warfare. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even say it's ridiculous. It's like, how do you keep them suppressed? Like, if we have a bunch of wild dogs around us, and we want to domesticate them, are we going to allow, like, we have to be vigilant about any experience that's going to remind them of their ferocity, of their ability to kill us within 30 seconds.
Right.
So we have to suppress their naturalness.
Domesticate them.
Yeah. Right. But which is a suppression of what they naturally are. Because you're stronger when you wild.
Right.
So it's the same thing in this society. Like, it's a tool for warfare. It's not even like, hey, we're just going to feminize the male and outlaw manhood. You know, when you live in a society where there's so much imbalance and so much oppression, then there comes a moment where even an oppressed man, there comes a moment where his manhood raises up.
Okay.
You know, right. And he feels like yo, I went out to dinner the other night, and I was in the village, and there was these dudes that was walking by, right? But one of them was a dude who presented himself as a female, right? Right. And it was like 4 or 5 of them, right? I guess there was some beef or whatever, right? And they was chasing these other 2 guys down to fight them. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, they were so adamant about fighting, you could see that little bit of testosterone, because I'm in that area of the village. You know what I'm talking about. You could see that Yo, remember that night when we saw, you know what I'm talking about? Yes. That crazy. There's a dude we know, we saw him down in the village one night, dressed.
Yeah, but then that begs the question, what were you doing down in the village? And you don't want to, if we weren't down for that, we would.
Oh, but remember when we passed the club? We went out to eat one night. We was doing music. This was a long time ago. That's when I had the Honda Prelude then. And we went, you know, we young men, you know, it's a long time ago. And we were like, basically, let's go pick up some women, some girls. We was that age, right? Oh boy. So we went downtown. I know this is a diversion, but
how do you cut the feed?
Right. Yeah, how do we fade? Right. How do you edit this one in? So we like, yeah, let's go. I had the nice little car. I had the little computer love playing in the cassette deck. This is a long time ago, right? Sunroof open, and we like, yo, let's go downtown and it's like see what girls are outside of the club, and basically scoop up some girls. And we go by this one club. We on 14th Street, and I'm like, yo, this must be like model night because remember that? Because the girls were like real tall.
Yeah, yeah, like 6.
Like 6'2", 6'3".
But then we started noticing the hands and
Right.
feet and
No, it was a dude in the shadows.
Yeah.
Remember that? He was like 6'7" and like buff, but had the wig with the little bob, the little T-bars thing. And we realized like once we got in the thick of like the block, like, oh, this is
not where we belong.
right. This is another kind of night, because some of those clubs, certain nights, they have, right. Check the Adam's apple.
Yeah.
We were young boys then. We didn't know. And some nights they have that for that community,
group, yeah.
right? So we trying to just get off the block at that point, and so we like, yo, can you believe? Now remember, this is back then when all this was. Now it's like nothing to see, but back then you didn't see that. It was like an urban legend. And
a horror. It was.
So then we talking. I'm like, yo, but check this out. So and so, another friend of ours, told me that they seen, which is a guy we know, down in Times Square dressed as a female. And lo and behold, right, I'm at the light. I'm in the car, and he says, there he go right there. He just walks right across the front of the car.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I jump out the car.
I just finished cutting your hair.
Yeah, because I used to cut his hair, the guy who was dressed that way. He was young too. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm angry because I don't understand this.
Can't process.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what is it? What are you doing? And he's like, yo, get back in the car, get back in the car. And then I go in and chase him down. And he's like, listen, they carry guns, like they protect themselves. Like, you can't just jump out on them like that. And it's a whole long thing, man. But I don't know how we got off into all that, man. We got to get back to Noirmale somehow.
Yeah, but
so
that was just
yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to get them images out my head.
Same here.
Ashley.
Yeah, that.
Remember.
Well, next. Back to being a man.
Yeah, so your sexuality as a man is really outlawed. Peace, Miss May. Peace, Lakeisha. Yeah. Zach says the freaks come out at night. Yeah. So we jetted back uptown to Harlem. Where we can trust.
Safe.
Yeah, we can trust what we receive.
No, not there either, but
not now.
Yeah.
Not now. But like I was just saying, when you live in a lawless society, and again, there's no recourse for the violation of your manhood, then there's a frustration that comes in. And in order to keep an uprising from happening, you have to castrate. I saw Brother Byron put that in there. There's a mental castration. Oh, thank you, Lakeisha. You showing me love. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sweetheart. But you have to keep the suppression of the manhood to keep them from uprising. So of course manhood is going to be outlawed, masculinity and any healthy expression of it. So with Noirmale, it's really speaking about some of the things that we just don't talk about. Like, we got this song is not on Noirmale, but Father Time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the concept of Father Time was basically, as a man, when you wake up one day and realize, like, you got old, and the song is literally starts out talking about peace, Nava.
Peace.
Let's get a verse.
A verse.
We gotta pull it up on the computer here, yeah, maybe we try to pull something up, But Father Time is, it starts out really talking about, what's the first line? Dun, 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 dun. Woke up.
The whole
What?
thing.
You forgot it already? That's the part of getting old. We write songs I can't remember. But it's basically we saying I woke up on New Year's and I see more gray hair.
I know what you're talking about.
Wow,
I can't remember the words.
whatever. It ain't going on the project anyway. That's for something else. But it's basically about how, like, time catches up on you, and that's a reality that we face as older men. You know, where you start to realize that some of the dragons that you've been chasing, you're never going to catch. Some of the dragons that you've been trying to slay, and you have to give up certain pursuits. And readjust your perspective of where you want to be in life and where you should be in life. And it's not to say it's it's not a defeatist type of mindset where, like, oh, my life is over, but it's like, sometimes you have to understand when to change your warrior stance, and there's different ways to war. Once it's in you, it's in you. And no different. Let me know if you need any audio help. Yeah, good looking up. Anwar is he's got a studio and he does mastering work and he does mixing work.
Good.
Yeah.
We need you, fam. We need you. We
Yeah.
need you.
We need to finish these songs.
Yeah, we will.
That's what we really need to
Yes, sir.
do. But anyway, so yeah, some of those things that creep up on us that we're not allowed to really talk about, as men. Some of those things that, like I said, are suppressed, because if we really were to express how disgruntled we are as men, it would really be seen as a hostile statement.
Right.
Like some of you who have jobs. I haven't had a job in a long time. Um, and primarily because, nah,
Can't do it.
yeah, I just can't. You know what I mean? I
And
can't.
it's funny. I had the conversation with one of my coworkers now
Mhm.
this morning, and we were saying the same thing. We have got to find a way out of this.
You know what? I really don't feel any sympathy for you though.
But I know where you're gonna go with that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I really don't. See, let me tell you something else. You hear what he's talking about, and y'all probably like, yeah, that's true. Let me tell you something here. Okay, he cuts hair, right? So back in the days when I had the barbershop, yeah, I'm taking it all the way back.
Wow, wow, brother.
We worked in the barbershop, right? He was right there with me. And so I'm just giving you the cutting hair thing, right? So I told you, what, 2 years ago,
Hmm.
I was like, find the location and we can open up another barbershop over here. I'll finance it. All you got to do is manage it. What happened?
Licensing. I was.
You don't have situations like I got. You ain't got no felonies and none of that stuff like that. You can get any kind of license you want in this country.
It just takes time. Take time.
See what I'm saying? So now he's complaining about.
No.
Uh-huh. Let's hear it.
Not complaining. Not complaining. I'm just saying we had the conversation. We had a dialogue about getting off of the slave ship.
It ain't no slave ship because you re-enslaved yourself. You could have been working in the barbershop right now.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. So he wanted to be in that situation, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, this ain't gonna be like no regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just some of those situations. Being under incompetent men is a tough one.
Oh,
You know,
oh yeah.
Minister
Oh,
Bliss says no more slave ship.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, brother.
that's
I
a
agree.
sister. Minister Bliss is a woman.
I'm so sorry, sister.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Mhm.
My apologies. But yeah. It's hard. I can't do it. And then I like the piece that you just said. The people that they put in management are and more incompetent. Like the people that they hire to do all of the menial work are people with bachelor's degrees and everything. Then they put somebody in management with a high school diploma because they can puppet them. They can get what they want done, and it's I'm sick of it. I got a couple other co-workers and peers that Just tired of it, and you know.
I had to give him the Brazilian music because he could have been working in the barbershop.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you.
So, so yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying. But you know what it is because what does it say? As I'm here doing taxes for the past 4 years, and Anwar says procrastination kills the dream.
Oh,
you know, and sometimes it's procrastination, and sometimes it's just
words.
It's straight up fear. You know, it's just fear, man. Not really. No offense, my feminine energy is blinding. Ah. She said, "My feminine energy is blinding." That means she's flirting with you.
I don't know.
What?
How y'all doing?
This is his first time ever being on a live. So for all of y'all coming in now, he doesn't know. I mean, I don't even be knowing, but you know, Keisha says, if nothing changes. My dad is 62 and he always talks about owning his own business, but whenever the opportunity arises, he does something to sabotage it, and it's fear, yeah.
Yeah, that's really too.
Yeah. But you know, a lot of times too, it's not having healthy models that you can see, like, okay, I can see how that can work. And that's a part of manhood as well. You know, sometimes we do have certain stigmas about asking for help, and sometimes there is a latent competition, you know, even between ourselves and our elders. So, you know, you come with a certain level of humility and submission, thinking that they're gonna help to guide you along, but they only see you. It's Willie Lynchism. They only see you as competition.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because not only separate them by skin tone, separate them by age.
That's that Steven from Django.
Right. You know what I mean? You know, who was really the genius, mastermind behind everything. But so yeah, sometimes there's also that not having those models in front of you, and really, not everyone's built to be a pioneer, you know. But I can definitely say in your case, that wasn't really an issue because you could have just watched what I was doing.
I do watch what you're doing.
No, since we were like 17 years old, I've always had businesses and everything.
Yeah, and I've watched it.
Yeah.
I've actually participated.
Yeah, but a lot of things I tried to get you to do as well, and you know, I got to go to my girl's house, or that time I came to pick you up to take you to the studio, and you was outside playing basketball in hard bottom shoes.
Moving on.
Right. I was so upset. Oh my goodness.
Moving on.
Right.
That was the young boy. Now we're trying to do bigger and better things.
Well, just 2 years ago, I asked you about the barbershop. So I feel like
you're not supposed to make me laugh.
All right, I'll leave that alone for now. But yeah, he was playing hard bottom shoes, basketball hard bottom shoes, and wouldn't come to the studio. Yeah, because that game was so important.
Oh gosh, but we're moving on, sir.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Back to normal.
Yeah, so you know, so a lot of situations we go through as men, and okay.
I'm just looking.
Yeah, man, I mean, you got a smartwatch, man. We stepping it up. You know, how many points did you hit for?
A couple.
Yeah, he used to be nice at ball.
A couple.
That's over with. Though.
Yeah, that's done. No more.
Yeah. Everybody done got plus size.
Not strictly music.
Yeah. But you know, so some of those concepts, like I said, being able to speak about them in a way that's effective. And like I said, it's not just a music project, but it's really a conversation, brotherly love, trading war stories. Yeah, I ain't traded nothing because I ain't said nothing about me. Remember that girl One Arm used to be with?
Do me dirty.
I ain't do you dirty. You liked her though.
She was beautiful.
She was dope.
Yeah, I don't discriminate.
She had one arm though.
She was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't find anything wrong with it.
Moving on.
Don't even worry about it, man.
So the Noirmale.
Yeah. Nah, man. Yeah. I'm only laughing because I'm thinking about what you might say about me.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would, I wouldn't say a word.
You know what I don't be liking about you though?
What's that?
When I be getting on you and people around, you
Mm-hmm.
get real quiet
Mm-hmm.
and you act like it's me.
I was saying
but,
it to you.
but he's actually worse than I am. But then when we get around people, he plays victim. That's what I. That's one of the things I don't like about you.
No, no.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, when you're coming up as a man, there's so many things that are unaddressed. That we just don't feel safe sometimes to talk about or to mention. And then it's just like weird. There's weird situations that you go through sometimes that are hard to articulate. And as artists, we wanted to really take some time to open up the dialogue for it, not just in music form, but like I said, even we started working on a manifesto, even, and really to just bring some of the conversation to the forefront. I was actually going to bring up the song which we're working on right now, "Beauty and the Beast." Yeah.
I love that
Should we
song.
if we describe it and we give it away,
Um,
we can get the main concept.
yeah, but I'll start going on and start detailing everything.
All right, so I'm gonna give them the outer concept. So, "Beauty and the Beast" is basically the idea of beauty being inside of the beast, right? So, if you think about movies like "What's Love Got to Do with It," where you have like Ike Turner shown as this very bestial figure.
Right. Or the color purple.
I was about to say the color purple, which obviously was a complete insulting fantasy. It was a total insult to black men. And so many people coined it as their favorite movie. And, um, just a total insult, though. Not dissimilar from Precious, which was the new form of that. But as melanoid and melanin rich men, were always depicted as these bestial, wild figures, never as the warm, loving fathers and husbands and sons,
Or civil.
or yeah, or just being civil, which is always wild. And it takes this somehow civilized melanoid woman who has missed the programming and the seasoning of the plantation. Somehow it's skipped right past her, and she's able to maybe civilize us to some degree. And so Beauty and the Beast is a song that we're working on, and it's basically dealing with the impression that we often carry as melanoid men. That, like, again, like, the sister said, sometimes when we say things, it seems like we're angry, right? Um, or the idea that often that's perpetuated, that we don't love our children. That's a big one. I can't tell you how many times I've been out with my youth and I've been applauded. More brothers need to do it. Well, a lot of brothers do that.
Right.
In fact, we do it so much. I'm glad I caught you live. I always enjoy your videos. Thank you. You're welcome, Miss May. You know, like I've said before, a lot of times we're so warm and loving when it comes to our children that we'll even take care of another man's children.
Mm.
You know, so that's never been in question. When it was time for the world to learn about game, or what they later coined as romance, they came to us. We were the ones who had the loving impression and the glorified idea and image of our women and our families. So to flip it and now kind of portray us as being savage beasts who have the inability or don't have the ability, really, yawning again, I caught that, to love and to give, is again another warfare tactic.
Mm.
It's another warfare tactic. um, I remember years ago speaking to a sister about a situation I went through with children who were close to me, and it really traumatized me. I was separated from them for a while, and I spoke to her about it, and she said, when I first found out about this and you first told me, she said, I really didn't believe that it bothered you at the level that you spoke about it. You know, and she was just like, because I don't really see black men as like loving children. that way. So it was hard for her to wrap her mind around the idea that, we love our children. So Beauty and the Beast deals with the misconception. And also on the flip side, how sometimes someone can be bestial, but we're beguiled by their beauty, you know, and it's our lower senses that cause us to ascribe a certain value to them. But the reality is that they're only interested in devouring us. So it's just something, we're touching a lot of subjects that I think in any other format without maybe um, the melodic foundation to it, would probably almost be really hard for people to swallow.
No, they need to hear that one. They need to hear that
Deep
song.
facts, yeah. Beauty and the Beast, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we gotta finish that. It's just about finish. Um, I gotta lay something on it, and then we gotta clean up the bridge. I want to clean that up a little bit. We just gotta clean it up a little bit more. Um, you know, but even like the fact that we do music, right? So that's another like thing that people are often shocked when uh they see me sit at a piano or with a guitar in my hand or write lyrics and things like that. And people are usually very shocked. And it's because of the idea. And I always tell them, like, no, the creation of music is very feminine. It's a time where we get to be soft, we get to be vulnerable to inspiration and ideas that may come to us. And it's even a sharing and an interchanging. And a lot of times people have music, the universal language. People have trouble imagining that again, these strong looking men or these strong men, they're big and they're this and that they actually have this sensitive side to them where that expression is there.
I appreciate that.
I see. Yeah, man. Why don't you build on that, man?
Yeah, I don't know what to say exactly, but I do understand what you mean. Like, for me, music, music is my expression of my personalized soft. I don't want to say soft either. Just
Why not?
my emotional self.
Why not?
Because I'm a man. You don't just
We,
walk around saying you soft.
but we ain't walking around hard all the time either.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
There's a time. There's a push and pull, man. You have to be everything as a man in order to govern a family.
Right. Right.
Like you have to be the man, but you also have to have a lot of the wife in you.
The
You got-
nurture. The
yeah,
nurture.
because your primary responsibility as a man is to nurture the woman, to nurture her growth, her development, her learning track, and that's all feminine.
I thank you for them jewels right there, brother. 'Cause that was good.
Yeah, I'm flowing.
That's good.
I'm flowing right now. As long as I got an instrument in my hand, I think better. And then the children, you got to have that playfulness. I don't know. I believe that music is the way to express it. I don't want to knock this. Malik came to me and broke down a particular song on my album. Yeah, Almar just put out a project too.
I need to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I heard some of the cuts from it. But you gotta have all of it in you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because for those of you who are like who deal with the Bible, for instance, right? Because I go through different systems. You look at even the separation. Of course, in the beginning, man and women were one. Male and female were one. In the beginning, God created man, male and female. He created them in His image, right? But then there was a separation. It's not good for man to be alone,
Right.
right? So cause a deep sleep to fall on him. Pull that rib out. Fashion Eve from the rib. But ultimately, what that means is that, and I'm going with the Bible because some of y'all might say, well, you a Bible out. We pulling from wisdom from different places. But ultimately, what it means is that the stuff that she was made of started with him, number one, and she owns him. Because if you cut my arm off and make a person out of my arm, that's my arm. I own my arm. So I have to still nurture what I'm steward over, what I own. And then even when I make children with what is a part of me, I own that too. So as a man, and I know some people may have trouble with that word ownership, but you own it again, huh? Yeah, you just yawned again.
That's old man. That's old
I,
man.
I didn't yawn once.
I'm yawning and scratching.
We need to go sort of hit your leg.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, all of it got to be in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we ain't nothing wrong with being soft. We soft.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Music is I use music to as an outlet for my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, I think you're showing a lot of love tonight. Give thanks, Miss May. See, that's nice. I appreciate that. Sometimes we need that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Build on that for a second.
Was the necessity of receiving love from a female? Oh, yeah. It's been a minute.
No, not
Am
personally. Don't know.
Oh.
No, I'm saying yeah. Don't be telling them that.
Send me a couple of hearts. I need them. I'm telling you, I need them. No, but yeah. I don't know where to start with it. Normally I would start from a personal, you know, my personal situation, but
see,
overall,
this is a live. Let me tell you something, because you're learning live rules. Don't ever tell these people about your personal life, because there's always some gremlin listening that's gonna say something slick.
okay,
And you know how we are.
okay, yeah.
We don't know how to keep our hands to ourselves.
So generally, it's men suffer.
You got hearts. Look at that.
Thank you, Miss May. Thank you, Miss May. Shucks, I really don't know how to start. But I was saying, I'll say this. I know a lot of us are suffering trauma from not receiving that love that we're supposed to receive from the female. There's it puts you in a position of being unbalanced a lot when you don't receive that type of energy. And no, it doesn't make you angry, but you do sometimes fall into the you fall into spots where you're lonely, the loneliness and all of that other stuff, and depression and things like that, because you're not receiving that support, that love, that feminine energy. you know um, some of us go into an antisocial, or may fall into an antisocial position, because you don't, once you're not receiving that, you kind of want to pull yourself away from the world, because the one piece that you know you that I think that all men feel like, once you have that woman, you could deal with all the rest of the things. You know, I'm not sure if it's a saying or not, but I know that. No, I think I've heard this before, where they say, once you have a female supporting you, or that just that female energy behind you, it makes you feel like you're Superman. So you feel like you can do anything. You can accomplish anything, and once it's taken away, it's like you don't have that ambition that you used to have. Um, you don't have that same fire. You lose that balance, and you don't want to. You don't have that press, and it takes a lot for you to get out of that position. And what are they saying? These I have to experience this religious battle. Oh, what did she mean by that?
What? They're talking about something she said, I think. I too have experienced their religious babble. They talking about something else.
Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah, see, you about to take it personally.
I'm about to, no, I'm not.
No,
No, I'm
see,
not.
there's a,
I'm
that's
just
why you
not.
got to scroll up.
I
I
don't
had
know
a
what's going.
conversation recently, and a Christian man told me women were an accident, therefore females are less than because we were only put here because Adam was lonely. You are less than.
Well, female.
Yeah, come on, man. They're the weaker vessel.
Hmm.
See, that's when we're not allowed to say stuff like that. We have to do a lot of pretending. You know, we're pit bulls, and we got to look at a chihuahua and say, "Oh no, we're the same," but we know we're not. See, that's what creates that society, that insanity in society. You got a chihuahua barking in your face, and you got to pretend like they're a bigger problem than you are. When it's like I could snap your neck right now. I'm really the problem, but you would call another man and a group of another man to cause a problem for me. But you alone, you're not really a problem. You gonna let me? I know you ain't gonna say that. I know you won't say it. You gonna let that ride on me.
No, 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 no. My thing is I see him as I see him as balanced because I was it's funny
It
because
is.
I was thinking about the whole topic of egalitarianism where they argue that in the
He said it just got real.
book as far as the theological circle. I agree with you as it relates to equality. I don't think that men and women are equal as far as authority is concerned, but as far as like their importance, like I believe that women have a role to play.
They're not as important as we are.
You don't think?
No, of course not.
No, what I'm saying,
Look at it like
their
this.
role, nurture. You need a nurturer.
I can nurture myself.
True.
Oh, that feels better. Look at it like this. There's more women born than men, right?
Okay.
So we're more rare.
Okay.
Are things that are more rare, more valuable?
Mm-hmm. I'll go with that. I mean,
You don't even want
I'll
to look in
go
the
with you.
camera.
I'm listening to what you say. I don't see the audience.
Oh, they mad. They don't like that. You're gonna see this number drop.
Oh,
Yeah, we're more important.
okay. But my thought.
Why's it gotta be a butt though?
Huh? No, because I'm.
Look now, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
I don't need no man.
You never trust me. Oh, what happened? That was Miss May.
No, that was Lakeisha. They're waiting for me to explain what I'm saying because they know if I say something like that, there's just something behind
Yeah,
it.
you saying
But sometimes I like to throw it out there and let the
just
shock
to
hit
show,
them,
yeah.
and then I'll come back and clean it up.
I don't need no
Sharks.
man.
Sharks ain't gotta be nice to the minnow in the ocean.
Well, you know.
He said, "I know that I'm lesser." He was just saying God made an accident. That's what I didn't agree with. Well, you know what? If he said that God made an accident, then just ask him to support it with scripture. You know, it can't be vain opinions that drive a conversation. The conversation he had, I guess, with somebody else. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be a man. Trust me, they have much more weight to carry. Well, see, like I've always said, you know, this is a man's world. I have that in my book, Grasping the Word of the Unseen World, or even what we call, you know, the space where the ruach emerges from is feminine. It's unseen. Things that are unseen are feminine. Things that are seen are masculine. You know, so in the seen world where we live here, this is where masculinity dominates. And in the unseen world, which is the genesis of it, is where femininity dominates. So, do I have to say that to make a woman feel better? I mean, I could, but you know, the thing is, we all have to know our role and know our place, and that's why everything is so topsy turvy and turned upside down. Like for you, like you're saying, having that feminine support is important. I agree. As far as it making me feel like Superman, I think we've evolved to a point as men in this place from dealing with so many, because nurturing and compassion is, that's a level of femininity. It's you know, it's directly tied into a woman's femininity, her ability to be compassionate, her ability to be nurturing. But let's think about this. How often do you come across warm women? See what I'm saying?
Not,
Like never. You say it, it's me and you. I mean,
not as of late.
never. I never meet warm women. You know what I mean? Warm women. Now, so that means I'm not really meeting females and women that they're just not really as existent. In the same instance, you have a lot of masculine females out here, and they'll tell you because I didn't have a man in my life, I didn't have a father, I didn't have uncles, I didn't have a grandfather, so I was forced to do and be things that a man should have done, and it hardened me. Understandably so. Okay, so it's hard sometimes for them to imagine that the same sickness and plague that hit us as men also hit you. So as we're complements and balances to one another, if we're sick, you're sick. You know, and in this environment, if more males are effeminate, more females are going to be masculine. So just like many females don't feel protected.
Wow.
Because men are not hard.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So where she's supposed to feel warm and we're supposed to feel nourished and nurtured, she's not, we don't get that anymore.
No,
that's gone.
no.
But where she's supposed to feel secure and protected and covered, she doesn't get that anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wears its effect on both of us.
So see, one thought that came to my mind, you said this is an androcentric world. I was thinking this is more gynocentric.
It is gynocentric.
The Western world is more gynocentric.
It is.
Not okay.
But see, the Western world that's presented to us publicly is gynocentric, but those who control
right
are patriarchal.
Right.
They give you gynocentrism to keep you
down.
Yeah, and insane and backwards.
Right.
You know.
But when it comes to the oppressor,
they understand that patriarchy is what builds civilizations, and they're not going to let that go. I mean, even again, you look at the feminist movement. The feminist movement doesn't really try to tear down their men.
Right.
They don't call anyone out individually. It's only really the Me Too movement that's really started doing that, and that's going to backfire. I mean, you got transgender UFC fighters now breaking women's eye sockets, and you have transgender people running in events now, and these dudes beating out the females. So it's like it's already started backfiring, you know. But you know, so again, these are subjects that a lot of times we don't feel safe speaking about, or a lot of times when you're in a position where you have something to lose. Oh, there's a lot of conversation here. Okay, Minister Bliss, you need a man to have a woman, and you need a woman to have a man. It takes a key to open a lock. We need each other. Now, we don't need you, Minister Bliss. We don't need you. You know, see, that's the balancing statements that we always want to try to say.
I need you.
I've already broke this one down before. Like we say we need a man to have a woman. Well, why do I need children? I don't need children. You know,
nation building.
Why do I need the nation build? I'm good by myself. When you start talking about the needs for nation building and things like that, it's for your women and your children. If I care to have women and children and care to have them protected and care to have them in an insulated environment, then I need to nation build. But to have the things that I want to have, I don't need them. There's also the lone wolf hermit mentality. You know, see, the value of a man is the fact that he doesn't need you. When he needs you, that's his degeneration of effeminacy. Because he needs to lean, he needs to fall into you, right? So the strength of a man is his ability to function independently. It's like what I said earlier in the conversation, that he has to have some of everybody in him. He has to have obviously the man in him, he has to have the woman in him, and he has to have the child in him. He has to be a complete universe in order to govern it. It's just like when you're creating a business, if you're the head of that business, you have to have an understanding of what the mail person does, what the receptionist does, what the security guard does, what the sales force does. All of them have to be in you to some degree, right? Now you might say, well, you need all of them. Not necessarily. I can do all of those jobs. Is it as efficient? No, it may not be as efficient. But the value is that I don't need you,
Damn.
right? I'm just saying. Because what's the first thing that happens when a man starts clinging and needing a woman? She gets turned off. You know, what's more of a turn on? And let me scroll down. I know I missed some of this. And this is for all the women who are here, right? What's more of a turn on, women? If I tell you I want you, or if I tell you I need you. If you become an object of total desire for me, and when I see you, I just, you know, I just want to be all up in you.
That's one of my songs.
As opposed to me calling you and telling you I need you, right? And then let's flip it for the men. What's more appealing to you when a woman tells you she needs you or she wants you? Now, I can tell you for me, as a man, I feel more valuable in when I'm dealing with a woman when I feel needed. But when I'm told, like, well, I don't really need you, but I want you to go do for me. No, not feeling that. I'm not feeling it. You know, so think about the value of a man's independence and how much that usually does pull you in. And when he begins to lose that, you tend to not want him anymore. You know? Now, I know, again, some will still say again, yeah, but what about creating more people? We don't need to create more people. You know, the idea of want for sure, right? Minister Bliss says, is this why men want to be married and live on in separate houses? Some men want to do that, but you know what? Most of the time, men don't even want to be married. I mean, now we get into some deeper, more straight conversations. Most of the time, a man wants to get married and live in a separate house because he doesn't want to get married to begin with, but he feels that he should, or he's insecure within himself and he doesn't want anyone else to have sex with this woman. So he wants to bring him into his household, but at the same time, he understands that he loses his wildness. See, a man's wildness is critical for his survival. And when we're around women too much, we lose our edge and we become very domesticated. You know?
Yeah, this is great.
I want you. Yeah, see, want is stronger. Yeah, that teddy bear, it's just a lie. See, need. I love a man that is cool, calm, and strong. And I hate to see a man lose control on any level. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
See? I never wanted marriage either, and I'm a woman. Okay. I know a lot of women who don't want to get married, but they want to have the covering of a man because, again, think about the constructs. Most of the time when marriage is presented to us, the constructs that are presented to us are not even spiritual based. So if it doesn't identify with your spirit, then yeah, there's not going to be a pull towards it. So I'm supposed to go down to City Hall or Justice of the Peace or have somebody who represents a religion that I don't even identify with certify that I can be with this person. But really, marriage should be based around a cultural union. There's so much more to it in terms of us identifying as one. Because when you become married, you become one, right? And a lot of times, again, when you bring the state into it and you say, well, we're going to go get married, we're going to go to the church, does the state agree with my cultural stance? Because if this third party is the one that's marrying us, then all three of us are one now. So there's always going to be a schism in between. You know, there's more here.
Boom. Right.
She talking about something. Okay. But, you know, so the reality is, like I said, I'm gonna let you scroll, man, because I keep looking up. But okay. No, when we're talking, like, that's what part of this project is about, like really being able to be honest about these things. Because let's look at, like, you know, we all have a lot of opinions when it comes to marriage and when it comes to relationships. But let's just keep it real and be honest about that. Those things are not working in this country. I'm not even going to say in the Melanoid community because we don't have a community. Why is it that we don't have a community? Because we don't know how to be married. We don't know how to be men. We don't know how to be women. And it's what you laughing? Something's happening that I'm missing. I can be one of your wives though. Which one of us?
Oh,
What?
you
You don't want a woman? There's women here. There's women.
I'm saying I'm learning this.
Which one you want?
Listen, I'm learning the system, sir.
I'll take one. You take the other one. Which one you? I take the tall one. You take the shorter one because I'm taller than you.
Noirmale.
Listen, man. When they come, you gotta be ready. See, that's what I'm saying. When women come up, you gotta have your stuff ready, man. It's time to go. Let's go.
Somebody said I need a covering. Checking the game, big dog. Yeah, is he talking to me?
Lo, he said, yeah, checking the game, big dog. Yeah, just saying, why you backing up? I'm the tall one. She's 6 feet.
Okay, hey.
You want that one?
I'm 5'5".
He's not 5'5". That's the one you want?
Beautiful. She's beautiful.
You see how awkward people act when it comes to this?
Yeah, this is crazy.
It ain't crazy, man. Yo, these women ain't got no men. They going home to cats and vibrators. They're not going home to men and children.
You so blunt, sir.
Have I ever been anything else since we was children? I've always been this way. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just saying, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you live in a social structure where even ideas about us being together, it's natural for us to be together. We're supposed to want to be together. It's supposed to be a pull. Yeah, now you want to, okay, we'll read the stuff. Okay.
If a man cheats, put your church shoes on. Somebody said put your church shoes on.
Put your church shoes back on and drop 30. He's talking about...
He got Oh, Lord.
We women get so jealous of a man if a man cheats, but look, I don't care who you sleep with. I'm not in it for that. I'm here to play my position as long as you got a purpose. That's positive.
That's what I like that.
Yeah, she's just talking though, man. It's internet talk. You know, a lot of women, most of y'all don't want strong men. Y'all say it, but you really don't want strong men. Because that means you got to submit and come under some orders. It's cute when it's on the internet, you know, but then when I like give you an order, you know, because, you know, you want to mess with me, I got to own you. If I can't own you, I don't want you. You know, so it's cute on the internet. Good evening, Chief and Brother James. Did I say your name? I didn't say your name, but Edwina, she knows stuff. Thank you both for the candid dialogue, all smiles and laughter, much needed. Thank you. She cool too. You never met her? Nah, you never met Edwina. So what?
That ain't my real name.
Oh, you want to change it now?
Yeah, it's James Norman.
James Norman. Well, that's your stage name. True. All right. Don't worry about it. They're going to forget, man. They probably ain't worry about it. Yeah, submission, third eye. You know what I mean? Internet talk. That's right, Minister Bliss. It's just internet talk. Y'all not serious. But, yeah, so, you know, the opportunity to really... Why you clamming up? Because it's getting real. It's getting real.
Who knows me?
Yo, y'all scared my brother.
Who knows me?
Yo, they be knowing. They probably did a Google search or something, man. Why you clamming up, man?
Wow.
Listen, man. Yo, we under surveillance, man. Everybody can see everything now, man. You can't hide nothing in this day and time.
Wow.
Edwina's cool though. She's good people.
Sounds like Edwina.
Edwina? You know Edwina? No, her name's Edwina. I know her.
Yeah.
I know her government. It's Edwina.
Okay.
Yeah. She cool though. She wild though. She's wild.
I also understand the real man. Yeah. I'm serious.
Okay.
They just
you want my brother, Minister Bliss?
Minister Bliss, we're gonna send you some songs. We're gonna send you some songs. We are going to send you some songs.
Yo, you've never been good in the clutch, man. Why do you always freeze up in the clutch?
Where's my man at? I need some inspiration.
You never been good in the clutch.
Pass me the ball, man.
Come on, man. You a rapper. You should be able to like be quick with it, man.
Those days are over.
No, it ain't, man. No, it ain't.
See, laugh that loud, scholar.
Chief, I would love to meet you in Africa. All right, come on. Let's go. I'm getting ready to go back, like very, very soon. You know, you want to meet me in on the continent? Let's go. Yo, things are moving fast. Why you keep looking at your smartwatch?
Huh?
Oh, you want to get some food, right?
Yeah, but I want to talk too.
We don't need no food, man. We all right. We got too much food in us.
I want to go to Africa too.
Yeah, we going. End of the year. I told Pops like I'm gonna try to get him there by the end of the year. But anyway, Minister Bliss, I'm just joking. See, told you, internet talk.
We see.
First she said she wanted you, and now she's saying she's joking.
You want the brother to perform. You go to ease up on pressure. Like
you know, I'll stick with my cheek. This is real talk. It is real talk, man. It's not that hard for us to get together because how else you going to build a nation?
Right.
In order to build a nation, it's got to be founded upon family. And everyone wants to be so cute and about, you know, liking each other like we still in 4th grade. And like I said, if you're functioning as a man and you're functioning as a woman, it's very easy to get together. It's all instinctual. You know, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of times our list of requirements are based on our dysfunctional and lower based understanding. But when you're really standing in your convictions and your proper gender role, it gets so simple. It gets so simple. Like your list of requirements becomes so much smaller, especially in a community setting, because a lot of times what you're trying to pull from your mate, you're getting from the community. So you don't need as much. You know, like give me the top 3 things you want from a woman.
Sex.
Mm-hmm.
Sex.
Okay.
And food.
See? Easy. See that? Sex and food.
No, that I was joking. That was a joke.
I thought you were serious.
No,
okay.
Like two, yeah, but you want a companionship.
Don't be scared, man. Tell the truth. What is it that you want?
Companionship. Companionship. You want companionship.
Like what? You want to talk to her or something?
Yeah, you want to talk to her every now and again, but not that.
Like every day?
Nah, not.
I'm just saying, I ain't. You the way you deal with women a lot differently than I do. You know that.
I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to you. I
don't know which one she's talking to.
But sex, companionship, and food.
Okay, that's simple enough. 3 things. You see how simple that is? Sex, companionship, and food. Right. You know she want a lot more from you than that, though. She wants you to go shopping with her. She wants you to come over and fix stuff around the house. She wants you to take her bad behind children to daycare because her car broke down. She want to talk to you about nothing, you know. And then she want the sex. Then you got to have abs. You got to go get abs.
But she not required to get abs.
No, she ain't required to get abs. All right, I'll play. Oh, you talking to me, Chief? All right, you gonna meet me in Africa? You know, with a pocket full of diamonds.
Listen to Zach.
Minister Bliss, you got to show up like Sheba showed up for Solomon. She brought gold, jewels, silk, myrrh. Bring it on. She wants you to hold her purse too. Right, you got to hold the purse at the movie theater when she goes and uses the bathroom. But I never fall for that game. You just let the purse drop on the floor. No, don't play that with them, man. That's the effeminate, not in effect. All right, let's see. We missing some of this stuff. Most men can be satisfied with a plate and a BJ. Well, yeah, and you're right. See how easy it is? I want to build with you and the rest of the family. All right, well, come on out to the continent and bring your offerings. See how easy it is with me? Bring your offerings. Meet me at the continent, bring your offerings. What, man? You know me. I got to get it. You know me, man. Just listen. Come on, come one, come all. I'm all about big, huge, happy family.
Wait. Somebody said something about legs.
Yeah, Lakeisha probably getting nasty, man. She getting loose. The real ones could care less about what's between my legs, because once they get in my head, they know they got it all. Exactly. Exactly. Like I just said earlier, like I gotta own you. You know, hashtag me too, Miss May. Yeah, well, whatever. I gotta own you. If I can't own you, I don't want you. You know, it's about the spiritual union. Yeah, I gotta own you. Anyway, um, see, and you have to see that's why you gotta language and don't keep it real with them. Then they start to come into a situation, and then what you gonna pull it out later, or it's too late. So just tell them from the beginning what it is. You know, like I tell them from the beginning, you want to mess with me, I gotta own you. And then what do you mean you gotta own? I gotta own you. You gotta be like my property. You see, plain and simple. But some men will say, well, you know, we can sit at the table together and we can work things out as all right, well, go that way, but let them know what kind of man you are. Every man comes from a different tribe, and every woman comes from a different tribe. So different things are going to appeal to different people. So you just got to be honest about it. I saw something here. That's the goal, Chief. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Me too is the goal. Always go hard in the paint. Exactly. Please explain ownership, Chief. Okay, cool. It's kind of like what we were talking about. We're going to get back to the Noirmale. But this is all Noirmale stuff because this is, again, the opportunity.
This is going.
You know it's going to go here.
Can they hear?
Huh?
They can hear too.
They can hear us? Yeah. What? You want to say something?
No,
I cover the mic.
no. We good.
All right. Man, don't worry about it, man.
We need to have a forum.
A forum? What, that code word? What you mean?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, ownership. Well, Miss May said I would almost want Miss May to explain it, but it's kind of like what I said earlier, Miss Bliss, when I said, even if you deal with Bible law, you understand that, it was Adam's rib, right? So there was ownership there. No, man, you tapping it, dog. Just. I don't even know why I told you to put your big fingers up in there, man.
Tell me they own me.
I expect them to act accordingly. You don't buy something you know you're going to return, and you can't return something you use unless it's in the same condition it was. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. You could wear. You could buy sneakers, wear them, clean the bottoms off, take them back.
The more you talk like this, the numbers are going up.
Yeah. Well, see that she trying to use the ownership thing as a way to lock you in. No, you can get with a woman, and if she's not acting right, you have a conversation. Well, But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So back to ownership, because I want to answer that question. Miss Bliss said, "What do you mean by ownership?" Well, you know, again, when you're coming into a man's situation who is a man who is a natural man, right? Especially a man of my age, right? A man of my age, is already going to be in motion. And sometimes I use the example of like a locomotive. So me, I'm a locomotive that's, what are you doing, man? You about to end the whole live. I want it all, my ride. We'll come back to that, man. Because this is internet talk. See, now that we talking like this, these women are all going to be posting. I'm taller than you, Miss May. But they're all going to be posting like, I want this type of, just ignore that, man. That's internet. Like when people locked up, and you writing letters like, how the letter always starts. I hope this letter reaches you in the best of health. I'm trying to make the best out of a bad situation. And when I get out of here, I'm going to go to Apex Technical School and take up, it's just jail dreams. So this is all internet dreams. I never wrote you from jail, though.
Good.
Yeah. And you also never visited me in jail. We'll talk about that right now.
Keep moving.
Okay. Anyway.
Keep moving.
Yeah. One time, well, I don't want to tell you about
that. Miss May.
But anyway, so what I was saying was that the idea, again, you're a moving locomotive, you're speeding, right? Mm-hmm. So as women, you're not coming into a woman's world. Like a lot of women will say, like, I'm glad you came into my world, right? And a man should never come into a woman's world. She's coming into his world because he's already in motion. And what makes him attractive is the fact that he's already built. So she's coming in to enhance and embellish, right? She's not coming in to build with them, so we can build together, so we can nation build together. We're trying to put, all right, you know, or we're trying to, you know, just build together. Let's just we'll keep it right there, right? So
I know that lady.
that was
Lola
Lola.
Love. That's Lola Love.
Yeah, that was
I know.
Lola. You know Lola.
What's up, sis?
Um, so
Oh,
what was I gonna say?
locomotive.
Right. So he's a locomotive. He's moving. He already has his stuff together, right? So this idea that you know, whatever comes into his cipher, husband house bond. That's where the term comes from. So the husband of the house bond was the one who was the master of the house. So he was a master of the cattle, he was a master of the servants, he was a master of the women and children, right? So even the idea that we often say a lot of times, like if we have a child together, we say our children. But the reality is the children, you yawning again, huh? This is getting ridiculous, player.
I came off the screen.
Yeah, but this is getting crazy, man. Like, I don't know why you're so tired.
Because I'm an old man.
We not that old.
I'm an old man.
I'm up. But anyway, so what was I gonna say?
I need some Beijing.
Some Beijing. What's that code word for? Oh, they got those out here? A little rub and tug?
No, the black stuff that you put on your face, man.
You try to dye your beard?
Yeah.
Man, just let it swing, man.
I haven't seen myself for the.
Oh, you didn't know you had all that gray over there.
No, I knew I had gray, but I didn't know it was looking like this.
Man, don't worry about it, man. It makes you look distinguished. Distinguished gentleman, like Eddie Murphy. So, like I was saying, so Idris Elba got that. You look like Idris Elba now.
No, don't do that.
You just need the do-rag.
Don't do that.
You know, you gotta squint your eyes a lot. But so yeah, the idea again that everything that comes in is under that man's jurisdiction, because again, him being the master of the home or the master of that land, he's now accountable and responsible for everything that's underneath him, right? So in essence, that is a degree of ownership, right? But here's also the key thing in that. A lot of times when you have a situation, and now I'm speaking from practical experience, right? Where you have a situation, peace, Antonio. Antonio's Bahamas.
Peace, peace, peace.
Yeah. When you have a situation where you're building something or you're doing something, and you know, like you could be putting a structure together, your nation building, whatever it is, but it's not on one mind, and they kind of have errant behavior, they can topple the entire structure. You know, so there has to be a sense of when I say ownership, that, you know, my mind becomes your mind. You see, and I'm transmuting and imputing my thoughts inside of you. And then you're taking that, bringing it down from here and bringing it out of your womb into the children, my children that I give you charge over. You see, so the same way Emi, Olodumare, the Most High, the Creator, has given me charge over a family, I've given you charge over the products of that family. So there's a line of authority that comes down, you know. So I have a very high level of overstanding, Chief, not the usual. I don't know what you're talking about, sis. Maybe I missed something up in the thing. So yeah, that's part of the ownership. There's more to it, but I'm giving you kind of a basic. Oh, it looked like we froze there. Look, zoomed it. All right, we lost our stream for a second. We had to resume. That wasn't her, man. He thinks one of you are his ex. He did that. Third eye. I'm having a hard time dating. You shouldn't be dating, because I have a son and don't feel comfortable allowing men to influence him. But his father is absent. He's 2 years old. I want more children, husband, and a sister wife. You shouldn't be dating. You have children. You have no business dating. You should be courting. There's no reason for you to date. You're wasting time. Again with the yawning. There's no reason for you to be dating, sis. That's why you're having so much trouble. And you have a 2-year-old, so whatever happened with the father is still pretty fresh, right? So whatever insanity caused you to not be with the father, um, that was present in him and that was present in you is probably still present. So that also needs to be dealt with. But you're having a hard time dating because you shouldn't be dating. You know, if you're saying you want a husband and a sister wife, then that's where your full trajectory should be. But also, you're going to have a hard time dating anyway because you have a son. And that son is not going to want another man. You know, there's confusion already. Like, I'm going to use again what I just shared with Minister Bliss. There's ownership. You know, those who are in my household, who are in the house of Yah, they fall under my authority. They fall under my jurisdiction, and everything that's created under me is under my jurisdiction, right? So if you come into my family and you have yawning again, wow, bro, you just want to go lay down at this point. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Like, okay. do you need to go take a power nap? Y'all see that he just keeps yawning.
Don't make me laugh like that.
What's wrong? You ain't got no. You got ginseng?
No, I'm good.
So what I was gonna say is that. What I was gonna say that in that situation, you know, you're now creating confusion for your 2-year-old son because let's say if you came into my family, right? I don't know you, so I'm not, you know, but I'm just saying, right? If you're in my family, then remember everything falls under my jurisdiction. So your son, if he came into my household, he is now just like I own you, I own him. He's my property. I'm a steward over him as well. And his spirit, I'm in charge of his spirit. And I got to make sure he's spiritually protected, physically protected, emotionally protected, financially protected, mentally protected. We just go on and on and on and on. Because I'm the master of that. Master meaning that these are the things that I'm in charge of now. But meanwhile, he has his father over here. So who's his father? Is it me? Or is it his natural father? So now there's a confusion that's there. And understand with children, they never want another man to replace their natural father. And I'll give you an easy example, and a lot of men can probably relate to this. You know, if you've ever dealt with a woman who has children, and I'm trying to put this in a very humane way. If you've ever tried to go over to her place, say for instance, she has children, and you try to go over at night after she puts the children to sleep, there's a couple things that happen, right? First of all, the children don't want to go to sleep once they see you come over, right? Mm-hmm. Now they up.
They want to play.
They want to play. And then when you take her back into the bedroom, what's going to happen? Every 5 minutes, Mommy, my tummy hurt. Mommy, I'm thirsty. Mommy, right? So basically what the child is doing is cock blocking. That's what's basically happening. Because it's the same thing that happens biologically when a woman is dealing with two different men, the sperm fight each other inside of her womb. Now, this is already, you know, this is science. This is not necessarily metaphysics, right? But so our idea, because we know that scientifically, we assume that, well, it only happens with sperm. But a child is a matured sperm. So the child is trying to do the same exact thing. You're trying to go into the woman's womb, and the child is trying to block you, just like the sperm would be trying to block you from impregnating. Sperm would be trying to block you from impregnating the mother. So it creates all forms of complications. So how do you uncomplicate that situation? Give the child to the father. Because remember, the child is the father's property. That he allowed you. Listening
to what you said. You flowing.
Yeah, that was sounding like mayonnaise. I'm hearing your eyeball. It sounded like you was gonna rub it out the socket.
Oh God.
Yeah, man.
Could you flow?
Yeah, I'm flowing, man. Okay, what's he say? The father has a wife and children. We were attempting, now some craziness, to be one. How could he have a wife and children when the child is only two? You just had the child. We were attempting to be one, but he couldn't gain control of the situation. Way too much confusion for my Obatala brain. I wanted fusion for my Obatala brain. I wanted it to work, but I was losing my peace. Now that sounds like you did something selfish. I can tell you did something selfish. Now you're talking about losing your peace. So, were you married to the father? Probably not. You're going to tell me, well, we were working on that. So, in an undisciplined fashion, you decided to have children before you had a proper understanding with the man and with the man's wife, current wife. I already know what this is, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of being undisciplined, of being sexually undisciplined. I already know what this is. It's what a lot of people go through when they don't want to go through proper protocol. And again, that's what we're missing in society. How do we court? Did you all go through a proper courtship? I know you didn't, but I'm just putting it out there. You know, is there a proper courtship? Was that man judged and confirmed by elders, whether they were in his community or your community? I know he wasn't. Were you confirmed and judged by elders? Why are you leaning out to frame it? You dozing off. You freaking dozing off.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Stop. Could you flow?
You can never stay up though, man.
This is bad.
Yo, even that night when we was in the village that night with the he bitches.
But let's flow. Let's flow.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, we gonna. Okay. See, now everybody got these hard luck stories. My son's dad died when he was 8. He was never seen. He never seen me with the man until he was given the keys to our place that he got for us. My other man, I had a son, didn't see him. So all these hard luck stories. You know, that's just hard luck stuff. You know, a lot of times you hear them stories like, yeah, my son's dad died. I want to know how he died. Because that doesn't shut me down. How did he die? Did he get shot? Was you out here having babies with an outlaw? Was he eating poison every day? And you was out here having babies with somebody who wasn't healthy? You know what I mean? So those are things to consider. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's going down a whole nother path. You know, so you know, we were talking about just the ideas of ownership, and that's what manhood is. In the same way that women have to take ownership in that sense and steward over the children. You know, and that's what a lot of people don't. A lot of men or male, a lot of males don't notice. Just let it out, man. You're gonna get hiccups. You might as well let that yawn out. Yeah. Chief, what is proper courtship? Come on, we don't have enough time to go through all that. I do have a courtship manual I wrote for those who are inside of Anu. So for those who are interested in courting, then there is information that I've written on that. But that's a process. You can start by reading my book, Solutions for Dysfunctional Family Relationships. There is an outline of some courtship criteria inside of that you could check out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would say that in terms of that. That's a much longer conversation. But yeah, Minister Bliss, I hope that answers your question that you were asking in terms of ownership. I know it goes deeper than that, but that's the basics of it. If I know that you can't be inside of my cipher and be totally compliant to what my mission is and what I'm doing, then I don't want you in it because you're going to be nothing but a problem, you know, ultimately. Lo, does self-awareness give you the tools to build your world and authority, Chief? It's a start. Because with self-awareness, you can determine what tools work for you and what tools don't work for you. And self-awareness, you can start building it. You know, yourself is going to be a microcosm of your macrocosmic reflection of what your world and universe is. So you're welcome, Minister Bliss. Based on what I just said, Minister Bliss, why don't you answer that question? Or now it doesn't seem so appealing. But what was I saying? Yeah, so the idea of being self-aware, you're reflecting that awareness back out into your universe. So that's why that's the beginning. It has to start there because you have to be aware of the world that you're creating and the world that you potentially could create based on who it is you are and what it is that you are. So yeah, it begins there. But that's not the all because you may be self-aware, but it doesn't mean that you have spiritual authority. And authority, again, I did this show a long time ago. Author is a form of the word pater. Like author, you know, one who writes is the same word as authority. So it's like writing in the book of life, but it's comes also from the word pater, or which we know also in older form is patah, or a newer form Peter, which is rock, which is stone, right? So on this rock I will build my church, because this rock is where the authority is, and the authority comes through. Pater also means father, so the rock and the authority comes through the fatherhead. You see, so that's why again it's so essential to have that man as that covering, because without that, your homestead lacks spiritual authority. You don't have spiritual authority. That's why so many women flock to pastors. Pastor, can you pray for me?
Oh yeah.
Because you don't have the spiritual authority. Now these fake gurus and these goddesses will tell you the exact. You got a connection just like he got a connection. No, you don't. It's different. Your connection pulls from the bottom up. It's different. Mine pulls from the top down. That's why my genitals are pointing and falling down. Yours bring energy up. So while I'm pulling authority, you're pulling transforming power up. And the two have to meet each other. You see? So, what's up, man? Oh, really? Really? You going cross-eyed.
Keep flowing, sir.
It's like 10 o'clock and you cross-eyed. We're gonna shut it down, so don't worry, man. Because my brother has to take his bath and his nap. You know. Yeah, I did do a podcast, Courting versus Dating. Thank you, Zach. You're right. I absolutely did. I forgot. Thank you for reminding us. Yeah, frater. Take a little bit of Latin. Minister Bliss, you didn't answer the question. Is being covered still as attractive, knowing that now that you're submitting completely to that man and to that idea of now having a master of the ship? Because think of it like this too. Like when we say courtship, you know, when you're courting someone, of course you're going to court, but the word ship is there. Now, a ship has a master. And just like I was using the idea, the example of I always use an example of a locomotive, but it could be a boat, you know, but it's the idea I'm already in motion. So when you're coming in, you're jumping onto my train that's already in motion. I'm not stopping to let you on. I'm stopping at stations to refuel or whatever, and you have an opportunity to get on at that point. But I'm not stopping specifically for you, and I'm not backing the train up for you. I'm not even slowing it up. And whether you get on the train or not, I'm still going to get to my destination. What kind of train? Big metal joints with the smoke.
But they pick passengers up.
The joints that don't pick passengers, the freight joints.
Yeah.
Those are better anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the freight joints. Big iron freight train. I mean, you could jump on them joints. You know what I mean? I wouldn't advise you get your arm ripped though. There was a good documentary on that called, I think it's Migrantes. And it's about these children who jump on the trains like in South America to try to sneak into New York. Yeah, but there's a whole hospital they have with all these children with missing limbs from trying to jump the trains. That's Marva. Hey, peace, Marva. You know, I think, and GH Peace, that's, well, I know you, I almost said your name, GH. I know who you are.
Sleep.
The Authority author piece was dope. Thanks. Oh, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. You know, I think we lost Minister Bliss, though. She didn't like that ownership thing, maybe. You know, I don't think she wants you anymore.
She's at peace.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, it's just a lot of concepts to cover and to look at. I wasn't going to go into all of that. We really just was going to share all this shit. She had to go pray for us. I have very traditional values. I can handle being my covering. I believe in servant leadership. I can handle being my covering. You mean being my covering's property. I understand. Good. Then you'll do fine. Let me just put it that way. You can't make it bigger. You're making us bigger.
Wow. I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
I need my glasses.
Oh, wow. Maybe we should have just did a classical jazz project.
This is creepy. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. This is creepy. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. This is creepy. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. This is creepy. It's time for us to go.
Yeah, anyway.
Bert and Ernie.
He said raise boom. He said she raised boom boom room. Yeah, we gotta do classical jazz because yeah. Anyway, all right, so we gonna close it out so he can get his nap. But
Zach is getting this boy.
oh, Zach's comedian. But yeah, so there's a lot to it. Thanks for allowing us your musical skills. Oh, we was just playing. That it wasn't our real skills. Yeah, we could do better than that. So yeah, man. Like I said, Noirmales are like we're dealing with a lot of these subjects that really are healing or building to the community is what we really need to talk about. That a lot of people are afraid to speak about, and sometimes you do need that age on you to really feel that level of like solidness where you're not afraid to speak up. You know what I mean? Yo, you really look sleepy in this joint, man. You look bad.
I'm perking up. I'm perking up.
First time I bring family on camera, and this is what happens. This is why I don't be letting y'all in on things that I do. Yeah.
It's all right, bro.
You know what I mean?
I try to get to the side.
Nah, you gotta show them, man. Show them your body.
No.
Yeah, man. Show these sisters. They asking for men. They say they take your shirt off, man. Show them.
No.
Show them the guns.
No. Show them the.
Putting Noirmales about. We'll do some more, man. I want to just start introducing more concepts around it. Like I said, it's not just a music project, but like a whole open panel of thought, because it's necessary to begin to. They thirsty, LOL. Yeah, they ain't that thirsty. Lola's another comedian.
Well, that's Lola?
No, I ain't Lola. Lola ain't gonna sing that funny. Lola, she just likes to argue.
Business.
She like to argue online. Yeah, you can find her online. You look, there's a bunch of arguments. Yeah, it's just conversations that need to have for us to begin to like heal each other. And that's really the reality. We have to channel healing into one another, but if we can't really be honest and speak, and again, there's things that I know women need to say outside of the ranting and rambling that it's called the closed mouth don't get fed. I'm not sure what she's talking about. I have to go back through the chat thing, Minister, but maybe she's talking to someone else. But outside of the ranting and the raving, there's got to be some real concerns that women have that we can actually address. Just like there's some real concerns, like my brother said earlier, like that lack of love. Or like I said, yeah, there is a lack of warmness. For me, and everybody needs something different. For me, I don't really need that, but some men do, and every man has their own requirements. And that's another part of it. There's no broad paintbrush that you can say, okay, well, all men want this and I just have to provide this. Because once you learn the basics of your masculinity and the basics of your femininity, then you have to learn how to be pleasing to the one that you're with. There's certain things I like there's certain foods he likes that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like
asparagus.
I'm not eating no asparagus, man. Asparagus gives you gas, B.
Asparagus is good.
It gives you gas. And that's like what older people food. That's stuff you got to eat I'm not eating that, B. I'm not eating it. But, okay, like he likes asparagus. I don't want it. Now, if you put it on the plate, I'll eat it if you put it there. But I'm not going to ever ask you to make me asparagus. So that's an example of like being pleasing to the person that you're with. Like I like
chips.
Listen, I bought those chips, but you
feel guilty.
I do feel guilty.
Chips. Carrot chips.
I do feel a little guilty because it was a family size bag that I bought.
Planting.
But that was a long drive I had to take. I needed something to eat. But asparagus, yeah, it makes your
Does it?
urine stink. Exactly,
Oh wow.
exactly. You know that?
No, I'm done with that.
But what are you doing with urine that someone would be spelling it?
Oh,
My mind's telling
Zach,
me
no.
no.
Yeah. Oh, Zach, you set that up.
Yeah. So
Yo, flip it. Next vegetable. Next
right.
vegetable.
So like I was saying, you got to learn to be pleasing to the person that you're with. Yeah, B. Yeah, you full of surprises though.
Next.
Even I'm not gonna front. When you said the thing earlier about like you want sex from a woman, that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Oh, that's
Cause you
next.
wasn't always like that though.
No, I was saying what men want in general.
You was talking about yourself.
No, I wasn't talking about myself.
Well, what do you want from a woman?
Companionship,
Really?
book reading, book club.
Really?
I ain't trying to.
Cause I've never like you send me a lot of pictures. You send me a lot of pictures on WhatsApp, and you've never of women, but you've never sent me a picture of a woman reading.
Next.
I'm just saying. You like women who read. Okay. All right. Like I said, you're full of surprises tonight. Because I would have thought you like women who. We'll leave that alone.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh huh. Onionbooty.com.
Oh wow.
But bang bust. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't go to onionbooty.com. You're going to crash the server. But yeah. So it's just a lot of concepts we're gonna dig into. Now we just playing, so it's time for us to let y'all go. Plus, he wants to go. I don't know what we're gonna get this late at night, you know. But
Ah,
I'm not going to I'm not going to their salads got pork. Everything in there got pork. All right, let me just go through this real quick. I'm responding to Lotus Scholar about being thirsty. Oh, okay. She was talking to Lotus Scholar. Okay.
what do they mean by the thirsty piece? 'Cause I'm like,
I don't know.
excuse
Yo.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
All right. Let's see. Yo, could you stop making that noise, man? Because they're gonna think you really are passing gas on the live. That's the chair making noise. All right. There's a lot here. I have to go through later. A lot of women have children. I know you said some men do take care of other men's children, but most men really aren't going for that. And us women have to realize it's not the man that we choose. Yeah, a lot of men are not interested in taking care of your children. So that means that you may have to accept a different kind of relationship. Like Minister Bliss said that she has traditional values, right? And like I've mentioned in another live at another time, that traditional means that, it's just traditional means different things for different cultures, but it may mean that you're coming with no children, right? Usually that is what it means. But so that means you may not necessarily get a traditional relationship going forward, but you got to be open to maybe some other options. And I know everyone probably thinks I'm referring to plurality, but not necessarily even that, man. You may just have a relationship. Again, it's a contract that you have to establish between the two of you. Ultimately, there is no broad brushstrokes when it comes to relationships and like we all should do this or we should all bring this. It just doesn't work that way. We bring and we provide what works for nation building. If that mission is always the core, then you'll be a lot more clear on what you need to bring. And again, like I said, once you get beyond those brushstrokes, you got to deal with what's pleasing to that person. All right, but like we're gonna have more conversations on Noirmale. We're gonna start releasing some of the material as we go. So we want you all to like definitely want to have some conversations around it.
some contributions.
Minister Bliss. Yeah, yeah. There's some contributions. Oh, she deleted the message. I think she said I have two. So I don't know, but she deleted it, so it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, so we just want to have some conversations around it because it's important topics, man. And oh, she said I have two offspring. Okay, cool. So at least we know your equipment works. That's important. Minister Bliss's equipment works. Good. um, so that's a rite of passage.
That's just the right.
Mhm. So, having those conversations is important. Being able to kind of speak about some of these things that we're just kind of shamed out of talking about. But again, these conversations and this project is going to pull us together. It's going to pull us together. Those of us who think a certain way, or like I said, and it's really aimed towards men, of course, and really speaking about, it's noir male. Those of you who missed the beginning, um, because these things are, a lot of times our natural nature, and I tell men a lot of times brotherhood is important because we go through situations, yawning again. That's the yawn face. Yeah, that's what that is. We go through situations a lot of times where we question our insanity because of things that happen to us or things that are said to us. Is like, am I crazy or does this, and we live in a society today where most things are presented to us in that way. Even racism. Racism is hard to pinpoint nowadays. It's not like back in the days. Now it's like you go through situations and you're like, I think they just did something racist to me, but I'm not sure. And
So subtle.
yeah, it's subtle, and that's why you kind of need to have these opportunities where we can speak and like compare notes and see where each other's at, and then you'll be surprised how easy it will be for us to begin to build together when we can see one another. Another yawn. I don't know if you guys been counting the yawns, but I mean, I stopped counting like around 19. Yeah. So so yeah, man, definitely be on the lookout, and we want to have more conversation. We'll just do it earlier in the day, you know what I mean, and have, yeah, like Lo said, some roundtable conversations, and you know, you know, and then maybe he'll do his own live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, okay. They're not gonna act wild with you. Like they're not gonna say those things. Like
Oh.
they're not gonna do that with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. We're gonna. I was the same way on the retreat. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Zach was falling asleep on the retreat. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe it is late. I don't know. What time is it?
Let's see.
But I don't know why you would be sleepy because I just finished driving 9 hours. So
Ooh, one.
it's 1 a.m. Yeah, but I drove 9 hours straight here. And so I'm trying to figure out why you would be asleep because when I got here, you was laying down.
No.
I was outside banging on that door. And then you said, oh, I was just taking a break. I was laying down. So I'm trying to figure out why you would be so tired and I would not be so tired.
I don't know. That's just how things work, fellas.
You can't have multiple wives, B. You got to be able to stay up all night to have multiple wives. Sometimes you got to go from room to room and satisfy them all in one night.
Wow.
I've done that. I've never talked to you about that. I've never told you that before, but I've done that.
TMI, sir. TMI.
I don't think it is.
Oh gosh. That's weird.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get up out of here, man. We're gonna try to go hit the. We're not gonna IHOP. We're gonna go try to find something.
Now we gotta go to the gym.
It's too late
That's
to go to
what
the
I
gym.
do. Oh, it ain't. I go at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, you get up early, man. A lot of my business is nightlife. You know what I mean? But yeah, we go to the park, man. Do some dips and some pull-ups. I prefer the park workout, man.
Bartender style.
This chick told me I need to stop doing that because she said I'm doing that because of like a prison mindset. Yeah, exactly, man. I told her to go to hell. All right. So yeah, man. So we're going to get up out of here.
Yeah.
You all enjoy your evening and email me and let me know when to be in Africa. I don't have your email. My social media is at Chief Yuya. All right. So.
And I don't have any.
Yeah, he doesn't have social media. But if you want him to give himself to you, just hit me at my social media in my inbox, and I'll kind of serve as the middleman, you know, and I'll put you two together. And like he said, you should bring some offerings. So basically, you bring the offering to me, you pay me the money, and then I'll set up the date with him.
Gosh, blessings, blessings, fam, blessings to everyone.
Yeah. So y'all know y'all can get me at Chief You want my brother. You know what I mean? He's a much I think more civilized version of me. I would say so. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about all those direct statements. He's a lot more politically correct than I am. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about feeling exposed or anything like that. I would consider you more of a gentleman
Thank you, sir.
than I am. He's got.
You're a gentleman.
You think so?
Yes. Well, you pick and choose the times that you want.
Yeah, that's true. I'm selective. But he's got beige cardigans. I don't have any beige cardigans. So he's got like nice beige sweater. Like you could take him out. And he got beige cardigans and stuff. And he, you know, he presents well. He presents well.
Thank you much.
Yeah. So, all right.
I am.
Yeah. Bless you, Chief. Are you vouching for your man? Yeah, it's my brother. So, you know, that's family. So, you know, I got to, I'll vouch for him. You know. Yeah. You want one of them? Oh, you're afraid Shorty might be looking. She ain't looking at this. You know.
I'd like you guys to enjoy the music, and I'd like to enjoy your company one day. Definitely.
Yeah. For some urinal fun.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy your night.